Welcome to Exotic Excursions, where we make a new Destiny exotic and run through its perks. This exotic today is of a very singular weapon type, bows. There are a lot of great bows in the game that are exotic. You have the Leviathan's Breath, a bow that is pretty much only good against unstoppable champions. You have Tiku's Divination, really good for ad clearing but lacking on the DPS side. La Monarch, a small hint of poison in the game that is useful against overload champions. Wish Ender, that is really only useful in its utility with eggs and wall hacks. And finally, Trinity Ghoul, which is supreme at ad clearing but doesn't do a lot of single target damage. A lot of different varieties of bows with various utilities. Today, I want to add yet one more utility into the bow regime, with a bow focused around area denial. This bow idea was made possible because of viewers like you. Osiris Gaming, as a matter of fact. They shared a few different ideas and I thought this one was awesome and so ran with it. Thanks to them, a lot of the behind the scenes work was taken care of, and I could focus on the design idea itself. So go check out their channel and show them the support for their awesome ideas. Link to their channel is in the description below. Now, let's take a look at today's exotic bow, this one called Hail Feather. Design-wise, it was inspired by a mix of the Awoken and Dreaming City architecture with crystals and such, as well as the feel of Mercury and the slight Egyptian architecture and tribalistic style there. The focus of this bow was also to be used as more of an endgame tool. I do find it funny when the majority of your playtime is spent in endgame activities, and yet some exotics aren't made with that focus in mind. Odd. But luckily, we all know that bows are the prime source for high DPS in the endgame, right?
No.
Okay, so perhaps not. But bows do extremely well at a specific utility or purpose, like mentioned before with Leviathan's Breath and Trinity Ghoul. So what makes Hail Feather special? Its utility is area denial. In endgame activities, we not only have to deal with dealing high DPS, but also with keeping hordes of smaller enemies at bay. Weapons like Wither Horde and Anarchy and some grenades are really good at this. By using them, we ultimately say, okay, this area right here, you can't go here. Well, you can, but you will die. So we begin controlling the space, and instead of being reactive to what the enemies will do to us and frantically trying to kill them while they're trying to kill us, we are being proactive and saying, okay, I know a ton of enemies will come out of here, let's place a Wither Horde shot or grenade there so that the enemies are stalled and stopped. So that is area denial and the focus of this new exotic, another tool to keep the hordes of enemies at bay. So let's talk about its specific perks and then show the bow in action. Hail Feather is an energy slot arc combat bow. Its flavor text reads, "Fate is beyond all human understanding," and it surely is. Its normal perks are Flexile String and Compact Arrow Shaft. The exotic perk is called Feather Bomb, which we will get to in just a second. To explain it, we first need to talk about the intrinsic trait, Holy Grasp. It reads, "Precision kills summon an arc tethering orb, restraining multiple combatants within a small radius. Shooting the orb will trigger Feather Bomb." Now back to the exotic trait Feather Bomb. Shooting the orb triggers a powerful concussive blast, staggering all tethered combatants. So killing an enemy with a precision shot creates an orb which sends out bolts of lightning which slow and confuse enemy combatants who are near the orb, and firing again at the orb creates a massive explosion, damaging all the enemies who are tethered. Last but not least, this weapon also came with a catalyst, which says combatants killed by a Feather Bomb explosion have a chance to spawn another tethering orb. So in summary, kill enemies with precision shots, and you will spawn an orb which tethers enemies, which you can also blow up, and if the enemy is killed by the explosion, it could spawn another orb. A powerful tool to keep enemies slowed and stuck and easily taken down and subdued. Let's now take a look at it in action and see how it could look. We are going to test this boy on our 3 new thrall friends here. On the left, we have Jeff. On the right, we have Billy. And in the middle, we have
Shub-Nagorth, Ravager of all.
But his friends call him Shub. These 3 will be, for a lack of a better term, our test dummies today. First, let's take a look what happens when we use the intrinsic trait, Holy Grasp, by killing Shub here with a headshot. Full disclaimer, the animation and sound effects budget for this video were lacking, but I think the point will still come across. Let's watch that again slowly. So we see the arrow domal Shub there quickly, and in his wake, the orb spawns. As we can see on the ground, there is a glowing circle to showcase the radius which affects the enemies within, and on the enemies we see the same kind of dark, cloud-like thing that surrounds them when they are hit by a blinding grenade. This shows that they are stunned and slowed down. Now let's take a look at what the Feather Bomb perk would look like. So we already have an orb that is spawned, and then when we shoot it, a large explosion knocking back all the enemies around it. Chained with a catalyst, you can keep this effect going in the same spot, stopping enemies from coming at you and keeping them from ruining your perfectly good DPS phase. Now, the orb doesn't last forever, of course. It will disappear after a time, and killing another enemy with a precision shot while one orb is already up won't spawn another one. Only one orb at a time, but killing enemies with Feather Bomb will indeed have the chance to spawn another one, and you can keep that chain going essentially forever. But that is Hail Feather. So what makes this bow so special?
It's just my bow.
It can stagger and blind enemies and deny whole areas of a map so that you are in charge of the game, and you decide where enemies can come and go. I think it is a great idea and another bow in the bow toolbelt. Thanks again to Zeosiris Gaming for this idea, and if you want your exotic idea showcased in one of my future videos, please comment down below. I love seeing all the cool ideas you have. If you haven't already checked out a few of my other videos about exotic ideas, or even some of my ideas for new subclasses, check them out at the end of this video. Thanks a ton for watching, and until next time, have a grand old day.
Bow.